The modern Minuteman loadout. Hey everybody, it's Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Why am I showing this kit the way it is? We're going to get into that. But first off, you guys enjoy the content, please subscribe, please hit that thumbs up, please comment below, please share the videos. Why are people talking about the modern Minuteman? Well, because these times are tough, right? First, here, let me show you this. We are in some very interesting times where a lot of people are talking about the fact this kind of stuff may be needed sooner rather than later. I think all the sane people hope that the need doesn't come about, but the intelligent people that are awake see the writing on the wall. So I want to do this video. It's one of those kind of things we normally do on Patreon. It's a little edgy, a little risky for YouTube, but you know what? It's all good. I'm going to talk about the loadout. I'm going to talk about really the theory of use behind it. Why I have it set up the way I do, which is very important. It's set up specifically for a reason. All right, this leaf suit, is it the best camouflage? No. First off, there's no such thing as the best camouflage. Is this desert camo the best sniper veil? No, it's not. Honestly, I just didn't want to dig my other one out. So this is what it is. What I was showing you was that with that veil over me, I can still see through it just fine. And it covers my face. Because I'm going to go into this in a little bit. You guys are going to like this. Why not just face paint? I'm going to get into that. Also, the theory behind why I picked this setup and the versatility of it that may come into play. So these are things you need to think about. Where am I going with this? Interesting direction. Stick around, find out. All right, so a partisan, a guerrilla, a resistance fighter. If we're ever in that situation due to whatever it may be, total collapse of society, foreign invasion, whatever the situation may be. You guys know the other situations also. I don't need to say. Then we need to be ready, trained, equipped to deal with threats out there. So it's important to have our kit squared away. More important is that we have training and we practice these skills all the time. We're always improving our abilities. We need to be at an equal or greater level of training, equipment, and setup than who we perceive our adversaries to be. Depends. You know who you think your adversary is going to be. I know who I think my adversary is going to be. It's not necessarily anything we need to discuss right now because we all have our different opinions, we all have different thoughts, whatever. Okay, so the loadout. A rifle, right? You got to have one of those. A primary defensive tool. I forgot, I need to speak parables here on YouTube. So, there's that. Without one of those, you're not going to do much. Also, what do I have right here? Secondary, right? Okay, secondary defensive tool. Single handheld. All right. So what do I got going on here? As you can see, the leaf suit, and as you can see, my bare skin underneath here, because it's 97 degrees out here right now, which is very hot for this area. So normally, in a real tactical situation, I would be wearing a long sleeve shirt underneath there also for better camouflage. And it would be earth tone like this is. The green, a brown, at least a tan, coyote tan, something like that. But anyway, this is just because it's hot as heck out here. And that's another reason why these leaf suits are great, because the mesh, they breathe really well, and the kind of the movement they make is kind of like natural movement. Breeze, when breeze moves, and the the flowers, the leaves, the ferns, everything around you is kind of rippling in the wind, and you're not because you're wearing a camouflage uniform. It may not be as effective. This may not be as effective in some situations. Like I said, this is just a cheapo leaf suit. They actually work pretty darn well though. And the theory of use that I'm going to get into is really awesome. Why I really like it. Let me check the time, just make sure I'm doing good. Okay, I'm doing good. All right, so let's get into the minutia here. Let's set this off to the side. My primary defensive tool that the Bidens don't like. This isn't really part of the story. It's just the sniper veil. But let me move that. Get that out of the way. Okay, these aren't really necessary either. Okay, so as a guerrilla fighter, what is an important ability to have? An important capability to have? Actually, before I get into that, let me talk about the kit a little bit. The kit is a chest rig. Why a chest rig? Because as a guerrilla light fighter, you don't want to be carrying around a bunch of extra weight, aka plates. Now I have really light plates. I could and might, depending on the situation, actually wear my plate carrier, but it's good to have options. So this is my long range patrol rig. It's a standalone rig. The only thing it doesn't have on it is this mount for my secondary. That is on my belt, so I can ditch all this stuff if I had to and still have that to defend myself. It's on my pants belt. So that's always a good thing. And I'll go into that in a second also, how that plays into the role of things. What do I have on it? What is one of the most important things you can have? Ifak, right? Good quality Ifak. This is a Bearfac Gen 3 pouch with a, this is my Ifak inside. All the internals, I built this Ifak. The internals that came with this pouch are in my Bearfac Gen 2 pouch on my war belt. But anyway, Ifak, really important. Blood type pouch, because, you know, they got to know that. Knife, fighting knife, primary fighting knife. This is just a Gerber Prodigy. It's nothing fancy. I mean, it is what it is. It's a decent knife. I don't like serrations on knives, really, but yeah. And why do I have it mounted right here? Well, because when I'm sitting like this with my weapon systems, or like this with my handgun, or like this with my fighting, my fighting position, my handgun, my rifle, whatever it may be, it's right here. It's protected. Probably less likely for somebody to be able to grab it from me. And it's quick to deploy. And why do I have it on my offhand? Because this is my fire control hand. I don't want to leave that. I don't want to relinquish control of that primary defensive tool. But even if somebody grabs it, starts pulling out of my hand, I can strike, okay? Why blade down? Because I like blade down because I like being able to come at them like that and then come across and really drag down for some weight. Different people have different setups. You can knock mine all you want. I don't care. All my time in the military and civilian work after that, and private sector, and training as a pure civilian. I have come to, this is my setup. 2 defensive secondary magazines right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 1 in the gun, 8 is 8 primary mags. Why? Because this is a long range setup. And it's lightweight. I mean, I can carry this all day. But it allows me, you don't want to be missing, you don't want to be shorting yourselves on these things. These are what's going to keep you alive. All right? This is like an admin pouch. I have, map, compass, gun lube, gun cleaning kit. I have some calories in there. I have, let me move this so you're out of the glare. Some calories in there. Let me see, where's out of the glare? There's out of the glare. Water purification, bunch of different stuff in here. Some of those little hand warmers. I forget what all is exactly in there. It's a lot of stuff in here. Let me see, what else do I have in this kit? Oh, I have a little carabiner right here just to attach stuff to, gloves, whatever. That's pretty simple. It is what it is. It's slick, it's simple, it's, yeah, I mean, yeah, it sticks out a little bit, but I'll tell you what, one thing that's nice about having pouches right here on either side is when you're patrolling long range, you can sit here and rest your arms on it. Or if you got to hold your weapon up for long periods of time on like an LPOP or something like that, or you're setting an ambush, it gives you things to rest your hands on, or rest your elbows on. So I like that. Okay, so the theory of use behind this, that's kind of the kit. And then I have, like, you know, spare tourniquet. I have my EDC stuff on, pocket knife, secondary defensive tool, another tourniquet in this pocket, little med pouch in this pocket, a lighter, stuff like that. But anyway, let's get into why. Okay, as a partisan, a guerrilla warfighter, what might you have to do? Say I get compromised. Say we get ambushed and we got to split. We all split different directions. And we have, you know, we have rally points and stuff set up. Okay, good. But maybe I need to get into town. Maybe I need to disappear into a populace, in a populated area. Or maybe I need to go there just for resupply or something like that. Well, obviously, if I was wearing like full multi-cam uniform or any kind of camouflage uniform, I couldn't just take this stuff, you know, take my chest rig off and walk into town. But with this setup, you can. I'll show you how. Very, very simple. All I got to do is start taking off stuff. And you have a little area that you have designated to hide your kit in. And a lot of times I'd have a backpack with this also, of course, with more food and calories and stuff like that. But it is what it is. You just unclip it like this, take your hat off, throw it on the ground, because that's not going either. Take that off, take this, rip it off. There you go. I'm not going to just show taking off the bottoms, but I will show you this. You go down here, take this, lower this. What's that? That's a spare ball cap. Why? Because then I can go like this, and now I have on brown Carhartt pants, just look like work pants. No more leaf suit. I have a different color top on than they saw, and I have a different hat on than they saw. I look nothing like the guy that was just on film a second ago, right? And how long did that take? It would take me a second longer to get these pants off. But, yeah, and also having the latch system, I forget what they're called, QR quick release system or something like that, I don't know. That enables me to take this off and set off to the side, or take this out, put it in my appendix rig, something like that. But anyway, so I can have that on me even if I have to go into town. That is a very viable, a very realistic scenario. I want you guys to be realistic in what you're doing, how you're setting up your gear. It doesn't have to be tactical. Don't worry about tactical. Don't worry about what all those guys are doing, those flat range, you know, I don't know, competitive shooters and all the people that are in all the cool guy toys and gear. It is important to have good quality gear, yes. It is important to have the highest level of gear that you can to go up against a more well-equipped adversary. But don't get caught up in the minutia. Don't get caught up in the latest this, the latest that, the latest doodad. I mean, seriously, you could outfit it with Alice gear, old school Alice gear. You could Tri-Com rigs. You could just throw mags in your cargo pockets. You could have a backpack that you put on the front of you and just have a bunch of mags, whatever. I mean, seriously, there are things, I mean, setups like this definitely help you, be smoother, quicker, stuff like that. It's more ergonomic. But you don't have to have all that stuff. Get yourself a cheap leaf suit like this, or what you can also do is you can also run have Gore-Tex overpants or some kind of overpant. The point is you want to have something different on your legs, something different on your top, and a different hat, so that you can just ditch one layer, put on the other, or put on your ball cap, and walk into town. Right? Because we all know that as partisan warriors, guerrilla warfighters, freedom fighters, all that kind of stuff, look at the past and their ability to blend into town. Watch my favorite movie of all time, Red Dawn. I grew up on Red Dawn, the original, not the second one. Yeah, they had to walk into town sometimes also, right? Yeah. Now, I get it. It's a Hollywood movie. It's not realistic, but those situations would apply. So having that capability is important. Anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you guys remember to subscribe, hit that like button, the thumbs up, comment below, share the videos. And like I said, we do a lot more of this stuff on Patreon. If you want to check us out there, it's $1 a month. Hundreds and hundreds of videos there, exclusive content. Get ready, people. Get your stuff and get in order, and make sure that whatever you're doing makes sense. You're not doing it because it's cool. You're not doing it because it's expensive. And you're not buying, like what I mean is, you're not just buying stuff because it's like Gucci. It's like high-end stuff. That does matter sometimes, but equip yourself realistically, because more realistically important is your level of training and how often you practice all these tactics and techniques. That's what will help you survive the fight, as well as mindset. You got to have that warrior mindset. You got to have that mindset of never quit, never say die, never give up. You know, the vast majority of people out there, civilians, and you know, some military, the first time they're in some kind of contact situation, they're going to freeze, they're going to run, something like that. Also, another thing is the first time somebody gets shot, they're going to go down, they're probably just going to fall to the ground and start crying like a baby, crawl into a ball or something like that, and start freaking out. Most people don't have the understanding and the mental capacity to fight through it. You can't just stop. You can't just stop in the middle of a battle. You got to keep going, or you will die. The odds are you're going to die. So you got to have that mental strength, that mental capacity to adapt and overcome anything that is thrown at you. Have that dynamic mindset, knowing that what can go wrong will go wrong, and that no matter how well you trained, there's going to be things you come up against that you're not trained or ready for. That's where getting outside your comfort zone is important. It's important to be able to get outside your comfort zone and to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's really important. And all of this stuff I'm talking about is almost useless without proper fitness. You got to be fit. You got to exercise. You got to work that body. Functional fitness is key. It's not about being a bodybuilder. It's not about being skinny. It's not about being a triathlete. It's not about being an Olympic athlete. Nothing like that. It's about functional, real-world fitness. Can you carry your gear, your pack, over broken and rough terrain, steep terrain, for long distances? And then make camp somewhere out in there, in the brush, without making a fire, eating your food cold, and still be ready to fight on a hard ground, in a hammock, something like that. Speaking of that, really quick, hammocks versus tents. I used to be the mindset that I like hammocks and tarps, which I do. But what does a hammock do? Say, like right over here, say back in there, I set up a tent. How visible is that? It's fairly visible, but you know, the ground cover and the bushes and stuff like that would cover part of it. So part of it would be visible. You get this nice little line here, which is visible. What about a hammock? This is between, say, how do I put my finger? Between those two trees right there. Well, you'd be high up in the air. That's super visible. You don't want to be visible, right? No, I don't. So I prefer to sleep on the ground. Depending on the weather, sleeping bag, mosquito net cover, rain cover for it, but nice and low profile, or one of those one-man cocoon type tents that's basically just big enough for you to kind of like slide in a little bit of extra space in there, stuff like that. That's good because it keeps that profile low. It keeps you below the brush level, hopefully, if you're in an area where there's brush. Keep on having to move this camera because the sun keeps moving, and etc. All right, now this is, here, let me adjust it for a sec. Sorry about this. That's why I don't edit because I'm not technologically advanced enough to figure that out. I'm working on it though. There's a lot of things that come into play when we're talking about this. So find somebody to get some training from. Find somebody that was combat arms, boots on the ground, and that has actually been out there and done this stuff. If you can, find somebody that was in special operations community, even better. Ranger, Green Beret, MARSOC, Raider, SEAL, SWIC, etc. You'll be much better off. But even if you don't, watch videos of people that have been there and have done that stuff, and then at least take the stuff on the video and practice it in real life. And I guess, just kind of do your best to mimic. But watch who you're mimicking. There's a lot of fake, tactical people out there. It's just a bunch of BS. They just want, the notoriety of looking cool and being cool. It's not about that. It's about surviving the fight. It's about being fit. It's about being smart. That's the biggest thing, like I already said. Your mental strength. Your ability to not curl up in a ball when things go south. Your ability to adapt and overcome and make the best of any situation you might be in. This is all very important, and I'm talking to, civilians here, pretty much. Preparedness community, preppers. Not talking about active duty military. A lot of different things would apply then. I feel trouble is coming. I don't want it to come. I don't look forward to it. I don't advocate it. Any of that stuff. I just want to be left alone. But I want to be free and have my free will honored, and I want to be left alone. I don't want to go to war again. I just want to take care of my garden, play with my kids, love my wife, hang out with my friends, tribe, but keep on preparing because we never know. Something will happen eventually. It's inevitable, whether it's a personal SHTF, a big collapse situation, like the situation we're just talking about, whatever it is, or natural disaster. Things happen, period. And I know they will. I know that I will not regret any of my preparedness journey. And I encourage you guys to do the same thing. But you got to take it seriously. Please also don't fall into the trap of saying that, of thinking that you have more abilities or more capabilities than you actually do because you played Call of Duty. I apologize for the abrupt shut off. My SD card was full. I had to delete some old stuff, send it back to this. Anyway, I'm back. Be real about your capabilities and your abilities. If no experience, know that. Own it. Learn what you can. Improve the skills you have. And be willing to fulfill any role in a team, in a group that may come your way. Who knows? Maybe in my group, I know where I'll be in my group, but say a better group more merged with our group, which we do have several other of those in our network, and say I'm relegated because of my age to staying at the home base and training people and providing overwatch, providing fixed fighting position, LPOP, that kind of stuff, security stuff, and maybe local patrolling. I'm okay with that. I don't have to be the superhero. Just don't be a superhero. Don't think that it'll never happen to you, because it will. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you guys get it. I hope that you like the video. I hope that you train. I hope that you practice. I love you guys a lot, and I want to empower you guys to be better, to be equipped and ready for what I feel is coming and hope isn't coming. Like they say, prepare for the worst, hope for the best, right? I'm preparing for the worst case scenario. Hopefully I'm wrong. I'm hoping for the best. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.